The 10th Youth Summit has been rescheduled to March 24, 25, and 26. The first day will be held in St. Peter's Church, and the second and third day will be held in Petrus Hall. Our guest speaker is Reverend Father Jade Liquanan. He is the Executive Secretary of the Episcopal Commission on Youth of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines and the Youth Director of the Archdiocese of Manila. This year's theme is the youth marching on to a synodal church. And you, yes you, are you still thinking why you should go to the Youth Summit? Here are the reasons why.
How many youth summits have I participated in? I'd say maybe around 5 or 6. Yeah, I think that's the correct number.
And I've participated in youth summits since 2016.
And I've participated in 2 youth summits.
Why should you go to Youth Summit? Well, aside from being called the Youth Summit, I think it's a place where youth can be youth. It's a place that's designed to be a place where youth can exchange their stories, exchange how they're feeling, talk about things openly, and walk together in a spirit of prayer, in a spirit of dialogue, and in a spirit of purpose to see all these different kinds of people, to hear all these different kinds of stories, and to make those connections. Sometimes we live our daily lives without thinking of a connection, without thinking of what's this person going through. Youth Summit changes that. Youth Summit is a place to ask. It's a place to listen. It's a place to talk. But it's also a place to learn about who we are as people. And so when we're done Youth Summit and we go back to our daily lives, we can say, this is who I am. Who are you?
Youth Summit is a good and holy opportunity to grow in your faith, to be involved in church activities, even after Youth Summit. It is a good step for those being confirmed this year and for all the youth, to be the hands and feet of Christ. What I've experienced and what you will experience is faith-filled fun with games, praise and worship, music, making new friends and memories, sharings, skits, and of course, good food.
I think my most memorable experience in the Youth Summit was either the Youth Fest, where participants show off their talent, or just a special performance within their groups.
Aside from the food, of course, would probably have to be talking to people. Talking to different kinds of people from different backgrounds, from different walks of life. It's an amazing thing, and it's the time when most memories are formed. And for me, it's the most memorable part of Youth Summit because I never knew a lot of these people beforehand. I never knew the youth group. I never knew people that I'd sit beside literally in the pew. So it's an interesting thing, and I think that's the most memorable part of Youth Summit for me.
I think one of the most important skills I learned, or I especially used at the Youth Summit, was learning to be collaborative, to share ideas with others, and generally just make new friends.
I'd say being open. Before going to Youth Summit, I was very much an introvert. But going to Youth Summit really opened my shy shell to talk to people, to ask them how they're doing, and to get to know them. But it's important to talk to people. It's important to listen. And I think Youth Summit taught me that better than anybody else.
I think the youth should go to Youth Summit because there's a really, really good way to make memories and to make new friends. It is also a really good way to reconnect with God and spiritualism. So I really recommend going, especially because a lot of these things you may have not been able to do because of the pandemic.
We get to be filled both spiritually and physically. There will be Mass, confessions, and one-to-one with Jesus in adoration. As St. John Paul II says, "Be not afraid, so come and join. See you there."